You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Hi, guys. What a great start to the year.
Yeah.
I'm very happy you're listening. I'm very happy you've continued to listen. I sent all the patron boxes, patrons who support the podcast, who I always talk about, who without a doubt are responsible for keeping the show on the air. It's I was just doing all the boxes, send the boxes and stuff, and it's always say, oh, wow, and I write the notes and I'm like, oh my God, you're still here. Thank you for the support. I can't believe some people over 3 years now.
Wow.
They stick around. They support the podcast. I sometimes I go, why? Why are they being so kind and generous? But thank you guys. Just want to remind you to follow us on @InsideYouPodcast on Instagram and Facebook, at Inside You Pod on the Twitter. Write a review. It really helps the podcast. My band, Sunspin, our album's available everywhere. Streaming. We're streaming everywhere. So please, all I ask you to do right now, if you could take a second and just go to Spotify and click follow so we can get more followers. We don't have a lot of followers. And listen to the new album. It's available. You can get tons of merch on sunspin.com. We've got mugs and autographs and calendars and really cool retro shirts. And you could get Zooms from the band. And also on the Inside of You online store, we got a lot of new stuff coming. So check out the Inside of You online store. We still have a Smallville script that it's called Arctic. It was, I thought it was going to be the last episode I ever did, but the whole cast signed it, and that script's available, autographed. It's only one of a kind. So I'll keep it up for a little while, see if anybody wants it. But
okay.
Anyway, what do you do? Great guest today, Emmanuelle Chriqui. What I remember about this interview is how in love with her I was. I think anybody who listens to this will see she is beautiful inside out. She is talented, so kind, so easy to talk to. It felt effortless. And she opens up about a lot of things. And obviously she talks about Entourage, and she talks about her career and her life. And this was a really an enjoyable episode. I remember when she left, I go, I don't want her to leave. Like, yeah, well, guests come and they go.
That's right.
That's how it works.
That's life.
That is life. It is life. And again, if you want to join Patreon, go to patreon.com/InsideOfYou and join what everybody's been talking about. Anything else, Ryan? You have a good New Year?
Yeah. Well, I spent New Year with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played guitar and had some beverages, and it snowed, and we walked around town, and we ordered food, and we slept, and we were in traffic a lot, going home and on the way, but we made it safely, and it was nice to get away, wasn't it?
It was nice, even if it's, not too far, but, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's good. It's good to get away and be around friends and just forget about life for a while.
Yeah.
What song is that? And forget about life for a while.
It's not Cheers.
Piano Man.
Oh.
Without further ado, folks, please listen and enjoy the wonderful Emmanuelle Chriqui. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. People that come on the podcast, they think the room is a lot smaller than it looks on TV.
Oh, yeah?
Or on the screen than the computers.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a small room, but it's quaint. It's intimate enough.
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah, there's a lot to look at. It's very interesting. I'm sitting across from Lex Luthor.
And I'm sitting across from the new Lois, Lana Lang.
That's Lana Lang.
Lana Lang. Wow. That's pretty cool, huh?
That's very cool.
You look fantastic.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I couldn't believe it because, your age is on online. Like, of course, mine is. I'm 50. But when I saw your age, I go, oh, my God.
Whoa, that's crazy.
What?
You're 50?
Oh, yeah. I'm 50. Don't.
No.
Because you honestly,
for real,
Ryan,
though?
but look at her.
For real?
Yeah.
You have great genetics, right? Do your parents look young?
No.
It's hard to maybe.
It's hard to say. I mean, my dad's 70, my mom's 75. I mean, they're starting to Yeah. I guess I have some good genes.
You have good genes.
You have good
Nothing
genes. You have that
about
Moroccan Jew gene.
Well, yeah.
Seriously, you really, you could easily be 30.
Thank you.
Right?
I mean, thank you.
28.
Nah, come on, don't
Hey,
exaggerate.
stash, mustache. What do you think over there?
No, I agree.
I really
we all
agree.
look young for our ages.
I'm so surprised seeing you in person how, like, you know, because like you see the photos and like, oh, of course, every photo looks great. And then you see you in person, but you look very young.
Oh, that's really lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks. It cracks me up because, you know, on the show, my daughter in real life is 21. And
I love Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
Right.
Though that's totally feasible, it still trips me up. I'm like, we'll be talking about something and she's like, oh, my mom always says the same thing. And I'm like,
You're playing a mom.
of 2.
Does it feel weird? Do you think while you're acting, you're like, no one's going to buy this? Did you feel that in the beginning?
In the beginning, 100% I did. In the beginning, I was like, seriously, guys, I'm a mom. This is the first time I was playing, because I played a mom of like a baby, but never of like a teenage daughter. I was like, guys, this is ridiculous. But then when you watch our show, Dylan Walsh is the grandfather, which is also comical.
And how old is he?
I mean, he's what, like his late 50s? He looks amazing.
Wow.
I'm like, what? It's okay, hot grandfather.
What do you do to look good? Like, what do you? I mean, I see your Instagrams and you're exercising in your Instagrams.
My Pilates.
You're doing Pilates.
Yeah.
For someone who deals with a lot of pain and stuff, a lot of surgeries, played ice hockey growing up, a lot of sports.
Oh, yeah.
Does Pilates, is it really something that can help? Does it help you? What does it do? What does it do for you? What does it do?
Yo, it changed my life. I mean, I also have loads of injuries. I would say
From what?
Do you know, I don't know if it's a combination of also just genetics. Like I have loosey-goosey tendons. Like I have a torn labrum in my hip. I've dislocated both my shoulders total 5 times. Like I feel really like I'm tough, but I'm fragile. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
I'm tough, but I'm fragile.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm chicken shit. Baby. Sorry. Sometimes I just have to do that.
Wait,
Sorry,
but
folks.
that was perfect.
Okay.
That was perfect and so accurate. So anyways, long story short, it changed my life. Like I had a lot of injuries. I was in chronic pain. And it made me really, really unhappy. And I've always been a very active person, but Pilates really changed my life. Like I had a really gnarly car accident and I was all jacked in here and I'm not anymore. So there is really something to the whole, it helps elongate you and your spine and your core strength. And it has saved me.
Do you teach?
No,
You couldn't teach.
no,
But do you have a teacher?
I do. She's the best of the best.
How much is she an hour? Come on, celebrity talk. Here.
No, she's, I mean,
Is she like 150 an hour?
no, well, I don't know what her rate, I've been working with her for so many years, so she doesn't charge me that, but I think that's her rate.
Right.
If we're in it.
Would you recommend her to me?
1,000,000%.
Where does she live?
She's here. She's so close. She's on Sunset.
Really?
And it's her own studio. Let me tell you this. She used to be an Alvin Ailey dancer.
A what?
Alvin Ailey dancer.
What's an Alvin Ailey?
You don't know the Alvin Ailey Dance Company in New York?
No.
It's one of the great, Google it when we leave.
Alvin Ailey.
Alvin Ailey.
Okay.
It's an unbelievable dance company. She was a professional dancer for 20 plus years. She's incredible. And her knowledge of the body is other level. And she's cool.
And so you don't have as much pain anymore.
I have no pain anymore.
Do you do your own stunts on
I used
Superman
to.
and Lois?
I used to. I don't anymore.
Yeah, isn't that something you get
Because the
older and you
last
decide
time is when I dislocated it, which was a few months ago.
on Superman and Lois? You dislocated your shoulder
Again.
on Superman and Lois. What were you doing? Were you on wires?
No. It was freezing cold. We were
Of course,
in
you're
Vancouver.
Go figure.
I'm doing this dope fight sequence with Superman.
Right.
And it was freezing. I wasn't warm enough. I'd been training for weeks. I blocked a punch. He kind of blocked it hard. And it just went like,
You felt it? Immense pain?
I had to go to emergency.
That day on the set, you had to go to the emergency room.
Yeah, because they wouldn't put it back in.
Did they try to put it back in?
No, because, if a nerve gets caught.
Were you
and then
crying?
I was bawling my, this is the best story ever.
Have you told the story?
I don't think so.
All right.
It
Well,
was
move the
out-
mic up so we could hear you a little
It
bit
was
better.
it was out of socket for 2 hours because we're in the middle of, You shot in Vancouver, right?
Oh, yes.
Smallville was in Vancouver?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we're in Delta, a farm in Delta.
And bumfuck.
Yes.
Sorry for that.
And it would take more time for the ambulance to get there than for them to drive me to the hospital. So I'm going across like bumpy farm terrain, completely out of socket, like can barely breathe. Every step is like excruciating.
God.
I'm in my super suit and I get to the hospital.
Super suit.
Yeah, because it was the alternate universe.
Oh, Bizarro.
Yeah.
Lois Rowe.
At Lana Rowe.
Lana Rowe. God,
Yeah.
I did it again. Lana Rowe. Go ahead. So go ahead. You're in your suit.
So I'm in my suit.
They didn't even take you out of your suit.
They couldn't. Like, are you kidding? I couldn't move.
Oh, yeah.
So I get to emergency and I'm like, I'm hysterical at this point. I'm begging them for drugs. The doctor comes. I'm like, please, just put it back in socket. And they give me some morphine. They gave me like a relaxant. They had to cut the costume. The costumer was with me. They had to cut the costume off. And the nurse, she sees it. I'm in this like full on super suit and I'm so high at this point. She's like, so who are you fighting, dear? And I was looking at her. I was like, Superman.
all effed up on drugs and morphine at this time. And she says, who are you fighting? And you just look at her and say, Superman.
Superman. She was like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the whole thing was so awful. Anyways, that's the long-winded answer. So no, I do not do my stunts anymore. That's it. I'm done. I have this a most amazing stunt double. Let her do what she does.
How long before you were fixed again? Did they put it back in socket while you were drugged up?
Yeah.
And you didn't feel it?
No, it was instant relief. And then I was back at work the next day.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. I'm not doing
Did you stay
stunts.
the night in the hospital?
No, I was out. Like as soon as they popped it back in, did all the paperwork, I was out.
Did Tyler, who plays Superman, was he just like, oh, I'm so sorry?
No, he was like, I mean, he had nothing to apologize for, but he just knew. When it happened, he was like, oh, fuck. And he just knew, and he was like being very protective because, is there anything worse than getting hurt on set? There's nothing.
I think there is something worse. Getting hurt during sex. I've done that. Where I'm like, ow, my knee. Hang on. Oh God. That's what happens when you're 50. I'm not kidding. I've had injuries where I'm just like, oh God, I can't my back. I just threw my back out.
Funniest thing
Oh my God.
heard.
Ryan, have you ever been injured during sex?
Not like that, no.
I have. I'm not even like hardcore or anything.
Slow down, Tiger. Maybe take it easy.
I don't think I was going that fast. It was just like, I don't know what happened. It was embarrassing, though.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, you got to be someone that really
Okay, maybe that wins. Maybe, that tops
wins.
it.
That would win.
But, I mean, having like 300 people be like, are you okay? It's just like, oh God, please. I'm good. I don't want to make a big deal about this. I just want it back in.
But you were just like, you were in so much pain. You were crying on set. You were like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I am a mess.
Oh, I'm a mess. And you want to...
Whoa. My Lex Luthor hat just fell off the shelf.
Oh, that's so creepy.
That's weird, guys.
Do you want to hear something really wild, though?
Let me hear it.
And our AD, they change every
director.
other episode. I'd worked with him in the beginning of my career on a film called Wrong Turn in Toronto.
Who was that with?
Wrong Turn?
Yeah.
It was with Jeremy Sisto and Desmond Harrington.
Oh, nice.
Eliza Dushku.
Yeah.
And so on this movie, I dislocated my shoulder in a stunt, and Bob was the AD. And
I know Bob. Bob, what's his last name? No one ever knows the last names. Bob, he's kind of like a middle-aged guy. He's probably my age.
He's the best.
Bob,
right?
he's really calm and mellow.
Yes.
He was on Smallville. Bob.
I think so,
I think
actually.
he was, yeah.
I'm
I love
blanking.
Bob.
I'm terrible on names in general. I'm horrible with
Yeah,
names.
it's probably the
but
same
Bob's
guy.
the best. And Bob...
Crippen?
Yes.
Is it Bob Crippen?
Yes,
Oh my God.
yes.
Is it Bob Crippen?
That is.
Holy
that's it.
shit,
It's
Bob. What up, Bob?
Bob is the best.
Tell him I said hi.
So I absolutely will. And so Bob, he's the AD on this episode, and he comes up to me. He's like, not again. And I was like, and I look at him, I go, oh, you were there the first time.
It happened with him the first
Yes,
time?
because he was the AD on Wrong Turn.
Years before.
Like almost 20.
And now he sees you
And
do
he
it
says
again.
it again. And so he's like, and I look at him and I'm just like, I'm out of sorts. And I'm like, maybe it's because you're here.
Yeah, you dick. Maybe you made a wrong turn. The set.
Yeah.
Fuck. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. But sometimes life gets you bogged down and you may feel overwhelmed or like you're not showing up in the way you want to. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of you. Because when you feel empowered, you're more prepared to take on everything life throws at you. And who couldn't use a few better coping skills to be able to handle all of life's curveballs? Look, if you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, flexible, affordable, and entirely online. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. BetterHelp can help you be the best you possible. Try it today. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/inside today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/inside. Did you have to audition for Superman and Lois?
No.
You didn't?
No.
You know, I've talked to other actors about this. When you don't audition, it feels like, oh, look at me. I got an offer only. But here's the problem. You never know if, like, they know what they're getting. They're like, okay, this is what we want. And you go on set and you start doing it.
Right.
And they're like, oh, no. We want something.
Yeah, that's not what we wanted.
You know, that could be a little scary when
Yep.
you're not sure. If you audition, like, oh, that's what they want. Good.
Yeah.
I got it. I know what I'm doing now.
Absolutely.
So
No questions asked. No, and absolutely.
Were you nervous first day?
Yes. Terrified.
Really?
Oh my God. But also too, you know, the whole thing was so strange to me. Like, you know, to your point is that I didn't audition for this. This came along and, you know, I was thinking about this in the car on the way up. I thought if this is going to come up or not. And I was like, I should start saying, I'll never blah, blah, blah for the things that I really want to do. Because I literally was like, I don't think I've ever read a comic book. I've never watched, I don't watch superhero things. I know it's crazy.
Me
It's a
too,
little bit outrageous, right? And so, and this came along and my team called me, like I started laughing. Like I was like, guys, that's hilarious. Okay. Like as if, and they're like, no, really. Like the creator of the show would love to have a meeting with you. And I was like, kind of fucked up over it. Like I was like, what? How? I don't even understand. Like I've never, ever worked on the CW before.
So what would make them have interest in me?
So 100%.
Right.
And like, why me? Like I just, nothing made sense. I sat with Todd Helbing. Best decision I ever made in my life. And the rest is history. But the funny part was that the last time I said, it's not like I'd ever do blah, 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 was when I said about working with Adam Sandler. Like I literally was like, it's not like I'd ever do an Adam Sandler movie. And then I did an Adam Sandler. So maybe I should start doing
Now
that
you auditioned for Sandler's movie, right?
I did.
Now,
100%.
how many times?
Twice.
With Adam the second time?
Never with Adam.
Never with Adam. Was Adam in the room?
Nope.
He wasn't even in the room.
No, I met Adam.
Weren't you his love interest?
Yeah. It was a really weird situation because originally Salma Hayek was cast and then she got pregnant. So she had to fall out. And I, at the time, randomly had a general with Heather Perry.
I know Heather Perry.
You know
At
Heather?
Sony? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sony. Yeah. She's not there anymore, is she?
I'm
I don't
not
know.
sure, actually.
But she ran Sandler's company,
Yes.
Happy Madison.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had a great meeting with her. And in the meeting, she was like, with me. And we're like in the golf cart, and she's like introduces me to Adam Sandler. He's playing basketball.
How you doing? Good to see you. All right.
So good. That's exactly what he sounds like.
You look like Lopez.
That's so good. And then I met Dennis Dugan, the director.
Yeah.
And then Dennis, like, this is all happening. And Dennis is like, yeah, great. Yeah, you're perfect. I would love for you to read. And then he's like, so when can you audition? Like, the whole thing was so weird.
And what'd you say?
I was like, things are so hilarious. I was like, well, I'm doing a movie in Vancouver. Like, I'm actually flying to go finish a movie in Vancouver. So, like, when I wrap, maybe in like 10 days, I can come back and audition. And he was like, okay, great. So I auditioned, and I have to work on this accent. It's not like, like I wasn't going to half-ass this opportunity.
What accent was it?
Palestinian.
That's not easy.
No. So then I auditioned. It went really well. Apparently, I guess the tapes were seen, but I know that there was a little behind the scenes. Like, I'd heard later on that before they actually offered the part to me, Adam had sort of called around to be like, tell me about Chriqui. Like, we're thinking about her for this. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing?
Really? So they want to know if you were easy to work with.
Easy to work with. Would I be able to hold my own opposite him? Like,
she know her lines.
It's a big deal, right? Because
Right.
Sandler is Sandler, and all his co-stars have always been, amazing.
Was he like
women.
on set? Was he like, Emmanuelle, do it again, but like say the line like this and then turn your head, like always throwing shit at you?
He was definitely him and Dugan directed, even though Dennis Dugan was the director. Adam obviously was very involved.
Yeah.
But he was just so fun. He created such a relaxed atmosphere, and it just felt like super organic. So even if there was like something that we were working out, it was like fun. It never felt like there was this enormous pressure. It was playful.
Yeah.
You
He's
know?
a wonderful guy.
He's
I
a
really
wonderful
love him.
human.
I love that guy. He's been so kind to me.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, working with Sandler, it had to be like just like you're sitting there and they say action. You're like looking at Adam Sandler. It's just like legendary comedian, guy we all grew up watching.
Legendary.
And
yeah.
you're working with him. It's got to be kind of like shell shocked. Like, oh my, you had to get that out of your system. How do you get it out of your system?
I don't think you do.
I am an actor. I'm acting now. Learn your shit and forget about Adam Sandler.
Well, I mean, I think that I don't know that you honestly do, because every day of that movie, I just remember being like, wow, I can't believe this. And then imagine that I'm on the set and there's a night where it's Adam Sandler, John Turturro, Kevin Nealon, Rob Schneider, and myself doing a scene. And I was like, okay, for real, what the fuck is going on right now?
Did you say that?
Like, to anybody who would listen. Like, I was like, this is so surreal. And like John Turturro.
Oh, he's an amazing
actor. I mean, he's so amazing. And again, like, one of the nicest humans. I remember he would get such a kick out of it, because I don't know if you know this, but he was very good friends with Madonna, like back
Turturro was?
Yeah, back in the day in
that.
New York. And somehow or other we got talking, and I was telling him of like my obsession with Madonna when I was a kid. So literally we would be sitting, I'd be like, okay, so tell me some more stories.
Really?
Give me some more like
Did he tell
Madonna
you some provocative
tidbits.
stories?
Just like fun stuff, not, but it was really cute. And he got such like a kick out of it. Like, he loved how much I loved her.
I know a great story where John Turturro and John Goodman were working together on a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, Big Lebowski.
No, it was a different one.
Oh,
it was like not Miller's Crossing, or not. It was something with those two, and they were wrestling in the scene, and Turturro or a Goodman didn't know his lines or supposedly or something. And they were wrestling around. And finally, Turturro goes, come on, Goodman, learn your lines. He goes, fuck you, Turturro. More people see me in 1 week on TV than they see you in your career. I think they just were laying it on each other. But it was like, oh, yeah, I just remember somebody telling me that story. I wonder if it's true. I'm sure there's some truth to it. But did Sandler give you his phone number and say, yeah, keep in touch, whatever, after?
No.
Did you want his number?
I wish that we could have been like friends, do you know? But I don't think he needs more friends.
I don't think he needs more
and
friends.
I love his wife, Jackie, so much. And we had such an exceptional time on this film. Like really exceptional.
Yeah.
And but like it's definitely one of those like where if I ever saw him somewhere, it would make my year.
He would remember you, wouldn't he?
Oh, 1,000.
I mean, you worked with him for months.
Yes. Oh, no. And
I always feel like no one will remember me, no matter what.
What is
hey,
that?
we did a movie. I know, dude. We did a movie together.
I know.
Why? I feel like I don't know what it is, but I feel like they're not going to remember me.
But like,
so
is
weird.
that? Do you think that that's because that some part of you just doesn't feel like enough?
Of course.
Yeah.
I've always felt like that. There was a speech that someone gave at a wedding recently. I won't say the wedding, but the speech floored me. It was so emotional that this person said, I love people. I love my mother. I love this. I love that. And logically, I know that people love me. Logically. Like I know that this person loves me, but I've never felt it. I've never felt that feeling that someone really loves me. I know it logically, but I don't feel it. It broke me down. It broke me down.
Was it that? But was the thing that he'd never felt it until now with this person?
Until now with this woman.
Right. That's beautiful.
It was beautiful, man.
Wow.
It was beautiful. There was a lot of it was a lot of emotions at this wedding. And I just kind of sat there with all these couples around me and going, yeah, I'll find someone. It will happen one day. You'll be at a wedding or
You will.
You'll get married. Hey, when you were young, when you were growing up, you were born in Montreal, but you moved when you were 2 years old to Toronto. Were you, first of all, did you have a pretty good childhood? You did. Were your parents always there for you? They were. Were they always like, I'll love you, do whatever, you're talented, you're smart? Did they always kind of...
Yeah, they were very, very supportive.
Isn't that amazing? When I hear that, I'm so amazed by it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there was a whole shit ton of problems, but that was not one of them. We had, it was.
What were the problems?
Well, my mom, it was very sad. My mom was very sick my growing up. So by the time I was 11, she was diagnosed with colon cancer.
Oh.
And then, she passed away like 5 years later. And, so my whole sort of 11 to 16 was taking care of a dying woman. So it was a very like split identity, like sort of me at home and then, me at school. And my dad and I together would take care of her. And my brother and my sister were older and, they had tried to get married before she passed away. So they got married like a month between the weddings.
Just so mom would be there. Mom would see that.
So mom would see that. So, that just had a lot of its own sort of stuff and, sadnesses and what have you. But my parents were so supportive and they loved the arts. They loved the arts. I grew up in a French speaking household, but so
You still speak French?
Mm-hmm.
Let me hear it. Say, I love this podcast. It's amazing.
J'adore ce podcast. C'est incroyable.
Fantastic.
So, the radio was always on, like, Radio Canada, like always a French radio. As a family, we were always watching movies. Mom would always garden and have like classical music blaring as she's like in her white caftan with all the windows open. She was like a character out of a novel, my mom.
Wow.
So, and my dad, when I was little, he would like take me to the symphony. Like, so it was always, they just loved it. So I think
They were classy, it sounds like.
my parents were really classy.
Yeah, see, my parents were not classy.
Really?
Oh, no.
What do you
No.
mean? Like how? Like what do you mean? I mean, my parents were so classy, but let me just say, like, also, I'm painting this picture, but it was like super humble, super middle class, immigrants that came with nothing and made something. Daddy spoke 7 languages because he just had a knack for languages.
Is he still with us?
No.
When did he pass?
9 years ago.
9 years ago.
Yeah.
Is it tough still to this day being without him, being without your mom?
Oh, yeah.
Do you still think about them constantly?
All day, 1,000%. Especially my dad. My mom, I was so young, but my dad, not a day goes by.
Is it easy for you to tap into emotions when you're doing a scene? If you need to, do you automatically go to that?
Yeah.
That's
Often. Yeah.
That will get you. What's a trigger? What do you think of?
How much I miss him.
Really?
Because I desperately miss him.
Were you closest to him out of all your siblings?
I think so.
Yeah.
I hate to say that because, if
Yeah.
they ever heard this, they'd be like, well, fuck you.
Maybe.
But we did. We had a bond. It was an undeniable bond that I think everybody knew. And also, too, we took care of my mom together. It was me and him. We were like this united front. And, yeah, it was my dad and I.
Yeah, it's amazing how things that happened to you as a child, things that just, growing up, as an actor, you can tap into that. If you do, it's magical.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes, but I definitely have a few things that I'd go-tos that I could feel that I felt for different roles, and I just tap into it. And
Yeah.
people are like, where did that come from? I'm like, well, you don't want to kind of say.
I know you don't want to say, and as tragic or triggering or whatever, they end up being gifts, right?
Yeah.
Like that saying of
They're
like,
with you. They're in the way,
they're with you, and also too that thing of like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Like these things, like if we all have a story, right? We all have a story. We all have shit, but it becomes a gift when you can like tap into it and use it for your art.
Yeah.
Like it really does. But wait, sorry, I cut you off. What do you mean when you say your parents were not that?
Wow, you went back 8 minutes.
Well, I find
it's
that
not
so.
that they weren't. I mean, they weren't classless or anything
Right.
like that. I mean, we were,
She's like rednecks.
we
like
were not even middle class when we lived in New York, and then in Connecticut, living in a duplex, and then we got a kind of like a small house, and we moved to Indiana, and we were working our way into middle class, and then eventually my dad started doing really well by the time I was out of high school, into college or out of college. But it's so funny. There's got to be some psychology to this, but my mom, if you went in the house, she had to take off your shoes. You have to see the vacuum lines and all the carpets.
Yeah.
She was like a monster like that. But if you opened up any closet, the whole thing would collapse. Or you opened up any drawer, it was packed with shit. Awful. Every drawer, every cabinet, pills, this. But on the outside, it was almost like looking at my parents. On the outside, you're like, oh, these people are fun. They seem together. And then all of a sudden on the inside, you don't realize what's really going on. So there was chaos behind that.
it, like hidden chaos.
Hidden chaos. I never really talked about that, but the closets were just atrocious. Wow. I mean, you opened it up, it was packed like a hoarder. But like, if you didn't open anything or you didn't open the drawer, the house looked immaculate.
Wow, that's so interesting.
I got to talk to my therapist about that.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's so interesting.
I think my mom always wanted everyone to think she was normal, that she had it all. She had, she had class and she was an intellect and this. And it was one of those Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You look behind the curtain. It's like, oh, she was
Yeah.
afraid of that. I think
And
we all
there's
have
also,
that.
I think so too. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. I had an oddly similar experience. So when my dad passed away, I kind of was very numb for probably like about a year. Like I actually couldn't shed a tear. It was wild.
Did you go on any antidepressants or anything?
I did. Well, I mean, not antidepressants, but I was taking too many pills for sure. And I was very, very anxious and, just like all of the things, just trying to just, constantly placate, just like, right? Just tempering anything, because anything that I felt just felt like too big. And so it was like, there's a year, and then maybe like 5 years after my dad passed away. This is so wild. My cupboards, the way you're describing what your house was, that was like my house. And my best friend, Emily, she had encouraged me to do Marie Kondo, the life-changing magic of tidying up. Do you know that book?
No.
Oh my God, it's so amazing.
Is it one of those things where it says, if you haven't touched it, get rid of it? If
Yes.
you haven't,
Does it spark joy? Yes or no? There's no maybes.
Have you read that?
No, it was a Netflix show, right?
It was a Netflix
Spark
show.
Joy. That's what I know.
Sparks Joy. But
Yeah.
there's an actual book, and they take you through, because she anticipates, like, you there's no, people have such a deep emotional attachment where it comes to like pictures or cards, right? Or like whatever, or like instruction manuals for whatever.
I know.
thing.
You don't need them. There's
That's
tutorials
it.
on YouTube.
And that's what she said. She was like, throw them away. You Google the model number and boom, there it is. So there's like an answer for everything.
Wow.
So initially, brings this up to me, and I have such a visceral reaction, which at first was like, no way could I do that. And then it became like this obsession, like I have to do this. And I realized that, when you open my cupboards, the same thing, like stuff was crammed in there. And I realized I hadn't touched anything since before my father died. And I understood that I was holding on to what was, and I like literally wasn't ready to let go. And it was this deep purge of an experience that no shit, it changed my life when I actually did it.
It's organization. It's almost like, my doctor said, one of my therapists a while ago, I changed therapists. I have changed therapists because sometimes you grow out of them. You're like, I need a different perspective. But they said something where you need to be organized. You need your office to be everything to where you can find things.
Yeah.
You have to have that. Or if it's in chaos, you will be in chaos.
Yeah.
And it's true. I can pretty much find everything for the most part. I have a system. But I do hold on to things. I don't hoard. I definitely get rid of shit. I mean, look, there's a lot of stuff here. But I also have 2 podcasts.
Yeah, but this is like, and also too, this is your office. Like this isn't
my office. This is the podcast.
Oh, I'm
studio.
sorry, the podcast.
This is the
It's a
podcast
creative
studio.
room.
Yes, indeed. Do you feel? This is a weird question, but it's weird. But when you're younger. I'm not talking as a child, but when you get older and you go, oh my God, if so-and-so died, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't no, you don't understand. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. Have you ever been through that? And then you realize when you get older, somehow you're able to survive it. Somehow you're, like when your dad passed, was it unexpected?
Mm-mm.
It wasn't unexpected.
Mm-mm.
So were you anticipating and thinking, I can't get through this. I can't deal with this. This is not going to, was it something anticipatory?
Yes, I was definitely, I was moving through my absolute worst fear, which is also oddly liberating after the fact. But I was like, watching my father die was,
yeah. See, you just thought about it and you got emotional.
Well, it's just, if you knew him, you would be like, why should somebody with that much light and goodness like suffer the way he did? It wasn't like, why did he die? Because we all die. It was like, why did he suffer like that?
Ugh.
And then on my 40th birthday, I did ayahuasca and I got the answer.
You just went from emotional to ayahuasca. That
True
was
story.
pretty good. How
True story.
I've been thinking about it, but I'm scared shitless of ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'll freak out. But does it really work?
Oh, it was so.
Do you have a shaman?
Yeah. I mean, I did a one-on-one. I didn't do it in a group.
And this person sat with you and stayed with you?
For like 8 hours. Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And like, it was unbelievable. That came up. That whole thing came up. Specifically that thing came up about just like, why did he have to suffer so much and everything? And we, talked about it at length. And then she had said to me, and like, this is true. And I think about this a lot. I was shown, or my father taught me the definition of grace. Because like, he never complained. He was so grateful for the life that he lived. He was, to the end, like still so playful and just full of love. And he was like spiritual and he was deep. And he just never once, ever complained or uttered, why me? And I think it's really remarkable because the extreme pain that he was in was like other level shit. Like he had a growth on his sciatica, which if you deal with sciatica, that's just like, and he had a pump of medication that was like, I guess it's like fentanyl. It's like 10 times more powerful than morphine that he would press like every few minutes to help with the pain. And it was only after that I realized like, holy fuck. Like, I don't even know what planet he was on when he was sitting around with us. And we would, get it, like coax him like a little child, like, Daddy, how are you feeling? And like, Daddy must have been high as shit trying to get through the day.
Yeah.
It's wild. So anyway.
You got through that with ayahuasca in a lot of ways.
I did. Because like, I just knew that to be true. My dad was one of a kind. He really was.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that you had to go through that. And how old was he?
He was a young 71.
Still young. 71's really young. What was his name?
Albert.
Albert Chriqui?
Yep.
Aw.
Yeah, cute.
Yeah. Man, that's amazing. This message is sponsored by Discover. Did you know you could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection? The latest innovation from Discover. Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And they'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection. So your brother paid for your acting classes growing up?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, true.
How old was he when
100%.
he's paying for your acting classes?
16.
How much are acting classes back
At the
then?
time, they're like $900. It's a lot of money.
$900 for like 10 weeks or something.
Yeah. For like my first on camera, TV commercial acting, whatever.
McDonald's.
No, that was later.
I worked at McDonald's.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
I was a counter person and a fry guy. I used to have to mop. I almost got fired for. I did get fired, but you had to mop in the M, like do an M with the mop. And
no, you did not.
Yes, and the guy. Yes, that's how we were trained to do it. The arches, or whatever. M for McDonald's, and then put it in, squeeze it dry, put it back in water. M. Do it back and forth. I swear on my life. And I remember
that's almost culty, by the way.
It was weird. I remember the guy was like, "Hey, you're not doing the arches." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, that's how we trained you." And then I think I got fired because I was stealing Big Macs. Or no.
Filet of fish?
No, I love those filet of fish. It was a
McFlurry?
No, what was those things that they have on occasion? McRibs.
Oh.
I stole a whole bunch. Well, it wasn't stealing, but they were left over, but you weren't allowed to take them after your shift. But we were closing, and I took like 10 in a bag, and I brought it out to my dad, and I go like this. And the guy goes, my dad points, and I turn around, and it's the manager. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "Oh, well, these were going to be thrown away." He's like,
Oh, shit.
and I went there, and I didn't get fired right then, but yeah, anyway. That's amazing that your brother paid for your acting classes. So whenever you win an award, you've won an award before. You won some award, I read.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get up on stage and go, "I just want to thank my brother who paid for my acting classes"?
Oh, for sure. I must have said something.
You must have.
Or like at least been like, I want to, like from my family that just is like fucking awesome. Thanks for always supporting me.
Did you always want to act from a young age? Did you have those? I'm going to ask a real question. You have to answer it real.
Okay.
If this is the way you thought, did you think, "I just love acting. I want to act. I don't care what I do as long as it's acting, theatra, or whatever the fuck"? Or was it like, "I want to be famous actor. I want to do movies, and I want to be famous and make a lot of money"? And
oh no, the first.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because don't forget, I started in the theater, in like community theater in like Unionville, which is outside of Toronto.
Right.
So I'm like 7 years old, and I'm like, I've just discovered the greatest drug of all time.
Really?
Which was like that bond that you have when you meet, like when you've done a play with your family. I was like, this is it. This is it. This is what I want to do. This is it. And so then when I auditioned for high school, there was a high school being built in where I lived. There was a fine arts program. I mean, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't get accepted. It would have been like terrifying.
What would you have done if you didn't become an actress?
I don't know.
Actor.
Not if I
Can you say actress anymore, or is it just actor?
I say actress. I know.
I don't know anymore what to say and what not to say.
Do you know, it's funny. I say that I am an actor, but when I'm talking, like if I have to still differentiate, like if I'm in a conversation with somebody, I'll be like, "Oh, that actress is amazing." If I'm saying that actor, then be like, "Well, who are you?" It just helps differentiate.
What year did you get Entourage? You started in the second season of Entourage, right?
End of second, yeah.
What was it like being on set, working with all those guys? It was a lot of testosterone, a lot of things going on. There's not many girls. I mean, there are girls, but I guess there were a lot of women on that show, right?
There were, but my world was very with the boys.
Did you like being with the boys?
I've always loved being with the boys. Apparently, I'm great with being with the boys. I don't know why that is, but if you look in my career, I'm oftentimes the only girl with boys.
Why is that?
I think because I had an amazing relationship with my dad and my brother, and I felt very comfortable around men.
They could say anything, you don't get offended.
No. And also, too, I always laugh. I kind of joke about this. My boyfriend always laughs at this. I think that, in some ways this is funny, in other ways this is really sad, but I've become I'm really good at flipping it.
You're really good at what?
Flipping it. Like I can flip a situation. Like I can flip an uncomfortable situation and not make anybody uncomfortable. It doesn't need to be weird for you. Won't be weird for me.
You don't allow yourself to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, it's not worth it.
I mean, unless someone really makes you
unless
uncomfortable, you went over the line. Have you had that?
Rarely.
Rarely.
I mean, I've had it, yes.
On the work
in the workplace. And I handled it. And there was very little backlash. And I flipped it.
I mean, you ask any woman, I'm sure they're going to say I've worked with a few pigs in my life. Right?
Yeah.
Have you worked with some horrific people before?
No.
No. Most of them you can tolerate. Mm-hmm. And what was your experience on Entourage? Did you really enjoy doing the show?
The best.
What was so fun about it?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Like an 11 out of 10.
You remind me like almost East Coast. I mean, you
really, yeah.
You do. You're very East Coast.
Yeah.
You seem like you're from New York.
Yeah.
That people told you that?
My whole life.
Yeah, you just seem like you're from Long Island. Like, oh yeah, Chriqui, she lived next to the Pellegrinos over on in Oceanside, right on that what was it? Where did my grandparents live? I forgot. Yeah, but that's how.
It. Next to the Pellegrinos. That's
so good.
Her
name was Chickie Pellegrino. She lived across the street from my grandmother, Ruth. Ruth Eckstein. The Pellegrinos lived across the street. Anthony. They all.
Chickie Pellegrino.
I walked over.
Do you write?
Yeah.
You write?
Yeah.
So you write screenplays?
Mm-hmm.
You need to use that name.
Chickie Pellegrino?
Yes.
I remember walking over.
Play her.
You can play Chickie Pellegrino. I remember walking over to the Pellegrino's house to ask Anthony if he had a screwdriver or something. And I looked down in the basement through the window because they weren't answering the front door. And he was going to town on this woman. And it was so uncomfortable. I saw it and I go, oh my God. And I think we locked eyes and then I ran across the street and I felt so uncomfortable.
Wait, I had no
Chickie Pellegrino's
idea
house.
what you were about to say. At first I thought you were going to say, and he was going to town like working out.
Oh
like,
no, he was having sex.
I can't.
And it was really uncomfortable. I have a lot of memories.
And you can't look at sparkling water the same, can you?
No, I can't.
Oh my God, that's
but
so funny.
Entourage was a great experience for you.
Great experience. I met.
How many seasons did you do?
2 through 8 and the movie.
And the movie.
Yeah.
Now, for the movie, did you get paid a lot more than you would have in a TV show?
No.
Did you ever feel like you got compensated well for that show?
Did I ever feel like I got? Not necessarily. No.
Right.
But at the time, it
seemed fine.
It's so weird. Like I've just never in my career until very recently been sort of driven by money. Isn't that crazy?
You know what? I don't think
crazy.
I was either until I felt like some people were taking advantage of me.
Right.
And when that happens,
or like
it becomes business. You become business.
Exactly.
Bullshit. This is business.
Exactly.
I'm delivering, you deliver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, yes. And like,
oh, yeah.
I've worked my ass off for however many years. And now, it's time.
It's been time.
It's been time.
And they will do whatever they can to take advantage of you. There are no studios out there or networks that want to pay you a premium price, that want to just make you feel good. Like you deserve this. This show's a hit now. We're going to give you a raise. You shouldn't even have to ask. If you're working at a company, all right? And all of a sudden you're working hard and you're an integral part of this company, and the company stocks go up and the company's worth a lot more. If that boss doesn't come in there and go, you've got a raise, he's not a good boss. And they don't. It's all about saving money. It's for the producers to save money so they look good in the eyes of the studio. It's horseshit. It's just how it works. And sometimes you got to stand up and go, "Faha, you. I deserve more than that," and you have to fight for it. And sometimes you piss a lot of people off. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's business.
It's business.
Forget about it.
Show business,
Forget about
honey. Yeah, exactly.
You said that the bro culture of Entourage still exists. You think that's, of course it still exists, right?
Yeah.
To those guys every night in Hollywood.
Like outside of the bro culture? Yeah. 100% it still exists.
Yeah. Everywhere you look, it's still.
Everywhere you look. Oh, are you referring to like how people always go on and on about how misogynistic the show was?
Do they do that?
Yes.
Constantly. And you're upset by that.
I think it's such horseshit.
That's what the show was. It was about a bunch of these.
But that was it's
a different time.
A different time. B, not that different to what happens still now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be real. You know, yeah, it was post Me Too, before Me Too.
Yeah.
But like every week there's some new shithead that's, you know, is going down for something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I always just defended it. I was like, I think I just always got sensitive about it because I think people love to hate on things that are working. And so someone's always going to say something. And the truth is that, you know, Doug Ellin was a genius. And Doug Ellin simply wrote about the shit that went on. And he did it in an entertaining fashion. So it's like you can shit on the show or just like hate our business. But he was writing about our business. Like Doug used to say, oh my God, this is tame compared to what the real story is.
Right.
You know, so yeah, so I roll my eyeballs because I just think it's ridiculous. And I think like, you know, people are inherently fascinated with our business. And I think you got to take the good with the bad. And there's a lot of bad.
There's a lot of bad. There certainly is. All right, this is called Shit Talking with Emmanuelle Chriqui. Did you get a lot of problems with your name?
Good. Say it again.
Emmanuelle Chriqui.
That's very good.
Did people give you shit about your last name? Were you like the Shrieks?
Oh my
Shrekky?
God. Shrinky, Chriqui, Creaky. Nobody ever, it was Trequi. Nobody could understand. Because, you know, I wish. But you know why, though? Because when you say it in French, if you speak French, the name makes sense. You don't speak French, then you're like baffled by the name. Because in French, it's Chriqui.
Chriqui.
CH is like like champignon.
Champignon.
So in French, QUI is qui.
Qui.
Right? So it's Chriqui.
Chriqui.
So in English, doesn't make quite as much sense, but.
Shit Talking with Emmanuelle Chriqui. These are my patrons, top tier patrons. They get to ask questions. If you want to join Patreon to support the podcast, you know I love you. Go to patreon.com/inside of you. I'll send you a message. And thank you. Here we go. Chris R. These could be fast answers.
Oh, okay, right.
Rapid fire.
Okay.
Favorite memory from Entourage?
Filming at the Roosevelt Hotel at the Golden Hour.
Why?
Literally outside having a cigarette with Jer and Kevin on Hollywood Boulevard in like dressed to the nines, shooting this show in Hollywood. And I was like, oh my God.
I'm at the Roosevelt smoking a smoke, hanging out at the magic hour.
Just like one of those moments where I was like, wait, this is my life.
That's amazing. Did you ever date anybody on Entourage?
No.
Any of the actors?
Mm-mm. Kev Connolly and I are still
besties.
And
I got to get him on the show. We were friends for a long time.
Oh
I haven't talked to him in a while.
You have
Send me his
to.
email. I got to get him on the show.
Absolutely.
It'd be great.
Oh.
And I like the other guy too.
Jerry Ferrara.
Well, I like Jerry. I got to do Jerry too. And then there's the other guy.
Jeremy Piven. Adrian Grenier.
Dylan.
Oh, of course.
Dylan.
Well, you know, they do the Victory podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe you can go on the Victory podcast.
We'll see.
Talk to them both.
Jamal F. Stoked that you're playing Lana. Loved Sloan and Entourage. Did you ever feel that Hollywood tried to typecast you after Entourage, or did you feel the show gave you the chance to be more selective with the roles you chose?
Ooh, great question. Nope. They tried to typecast me, and I said no for a whole year before I said yes. After Entourage.
Nice. Leanne, what was it like to work with Adam Sandler? We already talked about it. Any fond memories you'd like to share from your time on set? Was there any time you couldn't stop laughing?
Oh my God, all the time. I would say, you know what? You want to hear a really quick, sweet story? I was wrapped before the film was wrapped, and they were going to shoot in Mexico for some segments that were supposed to take place in Israel. So I was wrapped already. And as my wrap gift, they were like, come with us to Mexico. So I was
First
wrapped.
class everything?
First class everything. Come hang with us.
Did you get to bring a guest?
I didn't. I could have. I didn't.
Who cares?
I was there with like my crew and my castmates and had like the best time. And I was wrapped already. And that was a testament to like the vibe of that film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sophie M., we already answered your question. You said, can you tell us about your audition process for Superman and Lois? Well, she didn't.
Did you say Sophie Ann?
Sophie M.
Oh, Sophie M.
Isn't your name?
My name. I thought I heard
Sophie
Sophie
is your middle name.
Yeah, Sophie Ann is my middle
Ann
name.
is your middle name.
I was like,
Emmanuelle Sophie N. Chriqui. Dana asks, what advice would you give your younger self?
It's just so lame to say this because I'm sure everybody says this, but it's so fucking true. Is like, just don't worry so much. Don't stress out so much.
I know.
It's all gonna be okay. Literally, it's all gonna be okay.
Mine would be stop taking care. Do not feel like you have to take care of everybody.
Oh.
Do not feel like you have to give everybody money.
Oh.
Do not feel like you have to try so hard.
Oh.
Just enjoy life. Be present at a young age.
At a young age.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'll add as well. Though the don't worry one is very real, but you know what the other one is? Steep. Don't dim your light for other people.
Wow. Don't to make them feel better. Be your light.
Be your whole light.
Pretty amazing. Karina N. Hi, bonjour. Emmanuelle, do you speak French and would you be interested to act in a French film?
I do speak French and I did do a French film.
What did you do? That was German.
About what?
I can't do French. I can do German. Sprechen Sie etwas Deutsch? Können Sie lesen und schreiben?
That's very good.
Oder sehen Sie in Einbauung mit nur einem Fachnamen?
Are you German?
Ich mag dich.
Is your family German?
Nein.
What is your last name?
Rosenbaum. It means red tree in German, though.
Wait, are you Jewish?
We're Hungarian, Romanian. I'm Jew.
Ah, okay. I mean, I wasn't sure. Shana tova, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. So, yes, I did a French film. It was a comedy. It was the best experience of my life. And it was called Situation amoureuse, c'est compliqué.
And you spoke only French?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. It was amazing. I want to do it again. I have a French agent, so.
What now? What are you doing now? Besides, you're doing Superman and Lois.
Doing Superman and Lois.
Are you filming now?
Yeah. I fly back on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you're busy. You're like, this is the only day I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it long hours for you or you kind of go in and out?
In and out. I think the killer is the being the first one up. The 6 a.m. call time.
Tyler.
Ooh,
He's there from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Was he exhausted?
No.
How old is he?
He's 35.
That's why. I couldn't do it.
He's
now.
brilliant. He's brilliant.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's an amazing Superman.
He's got to do the podcast. I asked him. He said he would. He's got to. I know he.
I'll tell him. I'll tell him.
You say you have to go on.
100%. Yeah.
See, she's got my back, Ryan. What do you think of Ryan's mustache?
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah, I love all. You know,
Does your boyfriend have a mustache?
No, but I love when he has facial hair. But I'll tell you, I'm a sucker for anything that's like 70s. It's like I love your glasses.
Oh, you do.
I love that stash.
I love 70s too. Do you like horror movies?
Love.
Me too. I love horror movies. Did you see X?
No.
Well, it takes place in the 70s, and it's kind of like these porn actors who end up at this house, and all the horror begins, and it's really good.
Is it really
Ty
good?
West directed it.
X. Okay.
X.
Cool.
It's really good. That girl
Fun.
who's in it. She's on the new Wednesday Addams show. It's called Wednesday. It's coming out. Tim Burton.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name? Wednesday. My friend Alan Miles, they created it with Tim Burton. It's called, her name's Jenna Ortega. She's adorable, isn't she? And she's great in X.
Oh my God. Great. Okay.
Favorite horror movie of all time.
The Shining.
I knew it was going to say. Everybody says
Rosemary's
it.
Baby. It's because it's impossible. Children of the Corn.
Jesus, remember the guy Malachi?
I know, like, scariest.
Yeah.
By the way, just because we're talking about horror,
Dahmer. Is that what you're going to say? That's what I told him. My friend Tom.
it's incredible.
It really is. My friend, I'm only on episode 5,
Ugh.
but my friend texted me because we watched it last night. He goes, not watching anymore. I had all kinds of crazy dreams
Yeah.
about me and you picking up Dahmer from jail. That was his text to me this morning.
Yeah, it is dark, but wow, that guy is other level
I won't watch it.
that plays Dahmer.
won't
It's
do it.
disturbing. It's,
Yeah.
He's
it's
just like him. If you watch the interviews with the real Jeffrey Dahmer, you're like, oh, Lord. And the scenes are so intense.
oh my God. It is.
That
it is
first
like, whoa.
episode is an episode, spoiler alert, where it just shows you how he got caught, and then it starts the series.
Which, by the way, I loved that they did that because I didn't actually know the background of Dahmer
Oh.
at all. So I was like, what?
You're like, this guy's not going to live.
What is happening? But I found it was so well done. And that lead guy, Evan
Peters.
Peters.
So my favorite show of the past 2 years was Mayor of Easttown. I just thought it was
Mayor of Easttown?
Yeah.
I
Mayor,
didn't see
Mayor
that.
of Easttown. M-A-R-E. Mayor.
Mayor.
Oh, it's with,
That's
what's
her
her
name.
name?
Kate
Winslet.
Winslet.
I loved it. Oh my God. He was in it?
He's the young cop
Who gets killed
killed.
in the house.
Yes.
He was great.
I flipped out when I figured that out because I was like, oh my God, this guy's
He was, yeah, 'cause
unrecognizable.
he's so sweet in that show.
Yes.
Such a nice guy. And in here, he's a monster.
I can't. That's just like, wow. Amazing.
So weird. It's weird. This has been a real treat.
What a treat. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks for having me.
for allowing me to be inside of you today on the show. Well, that's what we say. That's the show's inside of you.
And nobody laughs, right?
Well, I mean, it's not supposed to. It's a serious thing here. This has been a real treat.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Again, words can't describe what a great guest I thought she was. I hope you liked her. I hope you enjoyed it. You got something from it. Let me know. Write to us. Follow us on our handles, all that stuff. And really not much else to say. I'll be at some conventions coming up. You can see me in Vegas on January 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Creation, where Supernatural guys are going to be. It's going to be a big party. We're going to do a Smallville Nights, Welling and I, prizes. Saturday night's a big music night. Loud and Swain's playing, and I might get up and sing a song. They want me to sing a song Saturday night in Vegas.
Who's that?
Loud and Swain.
Who's that?
They're my friends. They're a great band. They have a new album recently. It was a couple months old, but Rob Benedict is going to be there. He's an amazing singer. My friend Billy Moran and Mike and Steven will be there, and all that stuff. You know what to do. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making this podcast the one you listen to, or at least one of the ones you listen to. Mm-hmm. Right now, the top tier patrons, these are folks that give extra, that really, I can't believe they're still around, that are keeping this podcast going. If you guys keep it going, then I'll keep it going. That's as easy as that. And if you want to see me and Ryan continue this and part of your Tuesdays or whenever you listen to it, thanks for the support. Patreon.com/inside of you. Mm-hmm. And the new album, don't forget that.
The new album.
Yep.
Spotify, Amazon Music,
iTunes,
iTunes,
Apple. I think it's everywhere.
YouTube Music.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So
Napster.
Whatever. Yeah. Please follow us everywhere. We need the followers. And listen to the new album. It never is what it is. I think you're going to really like the album. We worked really hard on it. Here are the shout outs. My good friends, Nancy D. Hi, Nancy. I know we were trying to get together for lunch or something. It's difficult, but I love you, and we'll figure it out. Leah S, another one. I mean, all these people I just love. Sarah V, Little Lisa, Yukiko. Hi, Japan. How are you? She's been listening for a long time. I love you, Yukiko. You're great. Jill E. Hi, Jill. Brian H. Hinnenkamp. Nico P is still around, and Robert B, Jason Dreamweaver, Sophie, my Kristen Keogh, Raj, my wonderful, wonderful friend, Joshua D, Jennifer N, Stacy L, Jamal F, Janelle B, Mike E, Eldon Supremo, 99 more, Santiago M, Where's my bust, man? Where's my Lex Luthor bust you're making? He's such a good guy. So talented. Chad W. Leanne P. Hi, Leanne. Janine. How are you, Janine R? Maya P. Saw her in Pittsburgh. Maddie S. Belinda N. Chris H. Dave H. It's got to be Dave Hall. Sheila G. Brad D. Rach. Ha-da-da. Tabitha T. Tom N. Talia M. Betsy D. Of course. Chad L. Dan N. Angel M. Rhiannon C. Corey K. Dev Nexon. Michelle A. Jeremy C. Brandy D. Camille S. Joey M. A lot of these people I want to meet that I haven't met, Ryan, and I want to meet them at a con. Come see me, damn it, and say, hey, it's me. It's Eugene and Leah. They visited. They went to a con. Nikki G, Corey, Heather L, Jake B, Megan T, Mel S, Orlando C, Caroline R, Christine S, Eric H, Shane R, Emma R, Andrew M, Zetoichi 77, Andreas N, Oracle, Karina N, Amanda R, Jen B, Kevin E, Stephanie K, Lena 82, Jor-El, Billy S, Jammin J, Leanne J, Luna R, Cindy E, Mike F, Stone H, Brian L, Cameron E. To all the newcomers, thank you for the support. I hope you enjoy Patreon. It's a wonderful community. A lot of people have made good friends. They meet up at cons. They do fun things. So hopefully treat them well. To all the old patrons, treat the new patrons, welcome them. Friendships will start and hopefully blossom. And thanks for the support for the podcast. From the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California, I am Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Days.
Ryan Days.
Ryan Days. Let me hit you.
Wave to the camera. Hey, be good to yourselves. It's 2023. Let's do it right. Get healthy. Feel better. Do more. Do more of what you love. And thanks for all the support. All right. We'll see you.